The president recently has taken to talking about the economy. And I mean, I don't understand it. He says he wants to run on the economy. Now, his sugar high tax cut helped you if you happen to own a lot of stock in a Fortune 500 company. If you happen to have done stock buybacks, how many people here have engaged in stock buybacks? Guess you didn't really make out. If you happen to be a senior executive at a major corporation, but you know who it didn't help? Didn't help working families. Didn't help the people the president promised. Didn't help rural America. Didn't help manufacturers. Here's what Bernie Sanders believes. Instead of giving a tax cut to the investor class, we need to give a raise to ordinary Americans whose wages have stagnated for the last 30 years. And you all had a delegation recently visiting us in Washington, D.C. 50 leaders from Sioux City came, asking for basic funding for infrastructure. Expanding Highway 35, saying you needed some money for stormwater projects. Common sense things. And I got excited. I got excited because the Speaker and Schumer met with the President, and apparently the President said, okay, we're going to have $2 trillion of infrastructure. I said, wow, are we really going to get funding for places like Sioux City? Guess what happens? Next day, his Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, oh, the President didn't really mean it. We don't have the money. What do you mean you don't have the money? You just gave $1.4 trillion to people to have stock buybacks. Here's the difference, and it's so important for all of us to understand this when we talk to our friends and our neighbors. Donald Trump speaks a big game of populism, but he does not deliver. Bernie Sanders doesn't just engage in rhetoric. Bernie Sanders will deliver. When he's president of the United States, we will get a $2 trillion infrastructure bill signed. And money will come to places like Sioux City. Now, I was just with Senator Sanders in Osage, and we talked to farmers. My heart broke listening to their stories. You can't get by on $3 corn or $14 milk and the prices. I mean, how are they supposed to make a living? And this president, he uses the word farmer, farmer, farmer all the time in his speeches, and he thinks that's a policy. Just saying farmer doesn't make a policy. His trade war is hurting our farmers because they're not being able to sell their products overseas. Bernie Sanders has the boldest policy for family farmers in this country. He's going to have price parity so they have a minimum price floor, and he's going to take the fight to big agribusiness.